All right, guys, I'm going to show you how to adjust the spokes or tighten the spokes on the Hawk 250 today. If you have a bike stand or a bike jack, this is a little bit easier. I don't, so I'm going to be using a bottle jack. So the first thing you're going to do is whichever wheel you're tightening is get that off the ground. So while we do that real quick, I'll be right back. All right, guys, once you get her jacked up, you can actually start the process here. I'm actually using a torque wrench for this. You don't have to use a torque spoke wrench. You can just use a regular one. This just you know, it makes it easier. If you are using these, look up the specs to your particular bike and see what they should be adjusted as. This is a Hawk DLX, so I'm actually not certain. I have mine set at 18 inch-pounds, and I'm hoping that'll work out for me. But pretty much you just find one to start with, obviously. I'm going to start with this one here because it's easy to remember, because I got my air valve there. And just twist it about a quarter of a turn, maybe a half of a turn. A quarter of a turn. You really don't want to do more than a quarter of a turn. I also want to point out, this is not truing the wheel. It's a totally different thing. This is just to tighten them up, and part of the reason, since we're not truing the wheel, that's why we're only taking them a quarter of a turn. Anyway, start here, and then you skip 2. So 1, 2, and you do the third one. One, 2. Do the third one. 1, 2. Do the third one. See, this one's actually already good. See my spoke wrench. That's why I like the torque ones. Alright, 1, 2. For most dirt bikes, it's actually quite a bit higher. I think right here. Oh, no, maybe not. I'm only doing 18 for this just because I'm scared to break it because it's Chinese. That's pretty much the whole process, just 1, 2. I will fast forward through some of this, guys, after we get through the first set here. 1, 2. Just do this around the entire wheel. And since you're only doing it in a quarter of a turn, it might take a while. And that one's good now. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. This one here is super loose, so I'm going to go ahead and give it half a turn. I don't recommend you do that, but and now you've started over. So 1, 2, and this is the one we started on. So now you just go to the next one and keep doing this until you got them where you want them. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. You don't got to say 1, 2 over and over. It just helps me. Yeah, see, some of mine were very loose. Alright, we're back at the beginning again, so then we're going to go to this one. And this one's good now. 1, 2. 1, pretty simple. It's just kind of a tedious process because it takes a while. This one's good. This one's good. Alright guys, now when you get to this point, you have done every spoke on the wheel. So I'm going to fast forward now, and I'm just going to start over from this one and do it until they're all good. And this is good for anything with spokes, bicycles, dirt bikes, this thing. Like I said, just look up the specs for whatever you're actually working on. Alright guys, so I think I got them all. I'm actually just going to go through real quick off camera with both my hands and make sure they're all to spec. It seems like they are. I'm ticking at every single one, and then we'll make sure the wheel still looks good, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Alright guys, they looked good and the wheel looks pretty decent. That's all there is to it guys, and you just repeat that process on your back wheel. And like I said, it's a little bit tedious, but it's not hard, and I definitely recommend the Torque spoke wrench. Like I said, you can use a regular one, but that just makes it easy, and you haven't over tightened them or under tightened them. I'll try to put a link in the description for that, and thank you guys for watching.